I've just got way too many projects going on right now. Everything's a mess. The shop's a mess. We're working on multiple videos at the same time, and I'm busy, so this is just something I didn't need. I picked it up at the ham radio swap meet this morning, real cheap for a Zenith, and it's AM/FM, which is pretty cool. I wanted more AM/FMs. I'm supposed to be getting rid of radios, not buying them. Anyways, we're gonna get this thing back to life here. I have no idea if it works or not. I haven't tried it out yet, and I think I'm just going to cold clock this, put on a dim bulb, see what happens. It's probably got silver mica disease. This is that era. But if it does, we can definitely do it. The cool thing about Zenith is usually the IF cans have the values on the schematic, usually the SAMs. I haven't looked it up yet. This is a 7Z. What is it? It's upside down. 7H0Z2, I believe that says. So anyways, let's get your typical 12BA6s, 12AU6, pretty common tubes, 19T8. Not sure, there's part of it's missing. I'm not sure what they use for the output. But anyways, let's plug this thing into a dim bulb and let's just see if it does anything. All right, Variac is down at 0 right now. We're going through a 60-watt light bulb right now, and we'll do is turn this on here. And we're just going to bring this up much faster than we should, but that's okay. Starting to feel some heat. So that means that something's happening. Get it up around 80 volts. Oh, we got some noise. Got some static down at the bottom of the band. Let's give it full smack. Sounds like maybe the filter's gone in it. Oh yeah. Silver mica disease. Probably. Nothing. Nobody home. A little bit of noise. Nothing at the top of the dial. Definitely silver mica disease, though. Not on the AM side, though. All right, well, we'll have to tear into this thing and see what's going on with it. Could just be a loose tube. This has got the safety interlock on the back, so I'm going to have to take the back off of it and put a cheater cord on it. But that's no problem. We can get around that. Nice. I love this era. Still has the selenium rectifier in it. Surprised that's not bridged with a diode yet. Maybe it is and I can't see it. I'll probably get rid of that because when those things go, it's toxic. So I got to get the chassis out of this. You can't see anything because these FM loop antennas that the AM loop with the FM connection right there that couples it to the power cord. With these in the way, you can't really see anything. And as I recall, I don't think there's a way to take this off here without taking the chassis out. So we'll get the chassis out of it. Well, that was fun getting it out of the cabinet. The clip that holds it into the cabinet was just really stuck in the Bakelite, and I had to very carefully get it out of there and not break the Bakelite. So this is the first cue that this is a well-used set. The pilot light's burned out, and sometimes, although this has a solid-state rectifier in it, so I got to look at the schematic, but sometimes when the bulb burns out, that can cause a rectifier tube to fail. Sometimes that's part of the power regulating circuit. So we have to take a look at that and see. I don't think it is on this one, but few things I'm noticing about this chassis. It's got to be pretty high hour, I'd say. The tubes, it's got a lot of Sylvania tubes in it. Not Zenith branded tubes. I think this is 1952 or 53, based on the schematic that I looked up last night. It's got a stamp on it here, April 8th, 1953. And it's been repaired before. If I look at the side of the chassis here very carefully. 19 T8 they replaced for $5.15. Something for $5 for a grand total $11.61. Looks like November, maybe November 6, 1968. So somebody got their use out of this chassis, that's for sure. We've got the slug-tuned FM right here. We got our banana slicer for the AM right here. These are our stacked IF. Two of these, I was looking at the schematic last night, I think two of these are stacked. This one's not, and this one's not. Aerovox, I'm not sure if that's the original electrolytic or not. Don't know if it's any good or not. What is this, a 35C5 or a 50C5? Yeah, 35C5. So that's going to be the output tube, audio output tube. 19T8. So we may test these. I may go through and test these, but none of them are white capped. Make sure they're all seated. So now that we got it out, let me see if this is probably a 47 bulb. I'll probably just change this because sometimes that has something to do with the circuit in these. Probably is. It's a 51. I may not have that. And it does look like it might be burned out. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a neon bulb or something. That's a very weird looking filament inside of there. I have to check that out. I wonder if that's a xenon or a... Oh yeah, look at the glaze on the bulb. Smoker set. That's interesting. I'll have to look that bulb up and see if that's something special. I'm just not super familiar with the different bulbs. Also, something interesting about this set is I've never seen this before, but it's got a shield on the bottom. That's kind of unusual. So let's pop this off. I'm curious to see if it's got paper caps in it or if it's got disc. This should be disc era, I would think, but early 50s, maybe not. So it looks like we got a couple of paper caps in here, but mostly disc. So good news. This is probably a cathode bypass. Looks like the audio. Yeah, that's probably the audio volume control coupling cap. That's paper. So there's a couple of papers in here that need to be changed, but we'll go through, we'll clean the controls. Well, look at this. This is kind of a cool, look at that gizmo. They had to mount it. This is the AM FM switch. They had to mount it sideways like that, and it's pretty crusty. That might be part of the problem. And they've got like a universal joint right here. That's kind of cool. that paper cap there, that's probably the audio grid coupling cap, and that has to be changed. If that thing's leaky, that'll burn up the tube, audio output tube. So if I didn't mention this already, my goal today is just to get this working. If it's got silver mica disease, we're not going to deal with that right this minute. I just want to get it working, and I want to use it today to listen to the radio while we work on the Mustang, because we're going to be doing the suspension work that, if any of you are following that, on the Mustang, we're going to be putting in the adjustable strut rods and lower roller control arms. So I thought this would be fun to get this working to listen to today. So we'll just do the basics here. We're going to lube some things up. I might change this one cap right here for now, just because this will make it not work. It'll destroy the tube. We'll lube the controls up, and we'll just do some basic troubleshooting on it. See if we can't get it to play. I'd like to get both AM and FM working. I'm not going to go through and align it until I do the silver mica disease, which it undoubtedly has. I doubt that it doesn't. So whatever we get out of it, we'll get something out of it today, though. All right, so maybe the first place I'm going to start here is B+. Just start checking the basics here, and this comes out of the selenium rectifier right here. This is from the line side. This thing's had a ton of work done to it, and I thought there was a resistor in series with this B+, but let's flip this on here. And let's see, we should have B+ immediately. 109, 110. Now we're still through a dim bulb, but I think it's supposed to be like 140 volts post resistor. I'm going to have to go grab the schematic. I got it on my phone, but it's no good. This is awfully low. That could be filter caps. It could very well be shorted filter caps. 63 volts. I'm hearing something. 82 volts. Yeah, something's up here. It's either the selenium rectifier or we got open filter caps, but I would still expect to hear something, and there might be something there. See, that's FM. Yeah, there's something there. There's something there. This could very well just be low B+, so we're going to, maybe we'll check this, maybe we'll check those with the audio method. We can check the filters, and I'm always suspicious of selenium rectifiers. I may just get rid of it just because I don't want that thing to burn up. That's real bad news when they do. I can put one N4007 in there, and that takes its place. Okay, we're just going to do a quick audio test here. I've got the gain cranked up on the mic so you guys can hear. Sorry if I'm a little bit loud. So I've just got the speaker in series here with the stereo in the garage, and this is just chassis ground to ground. So we're going to check the 80 and the 40. And that's probably the 40, and that sounds good. Lots of highs, no bass. And that's probably the... Yep, that's going to be the 80. So the filter caps are fine. There's no problems with the filter caps. I'm going to take a guess and say that the selenium rectifier is probably bad because the B+ is so low. I don't like these anyways. I'm probably going to take this out and just put a rectifier diode in there. Whether that's the problem or not, I'm going to do that right now. I want that thing out of there. And then I'm going to go through and... I'm going to change. This is leaking all over the place. There's a black beauty in here. It's leaking everywhere. I want to change that grid coupling cap. So we're just going to go through and do a few of those things. But the B+ is very low. Like I said, I'm going to take a guess if the filters aren't shorted, which they're not, that the problem is over here. And just one one more note. I just checked the B plus with the dim bulb out of the circuit at full voltage because it's nothing shorted, and it went up to like 106 volts and was falling, and I think it's supposed to be 140 post resistor, and that's just straight out of the rectifier. So before I start tearing in and just changing parts, I started really looking at this. I wanted to trace this out, and I'm just confused as all get up right now. I don't know if somebody was working on this that didn't know what they're doing or what, but I just confirmed it by looking at the SAMs. I had to get the computer out to look to see it. There's the resistor that should be there. This should be a 22 ohm power resistor right here. I can't see. I need to look at the schematic on here actually, but there's not a resistor there. There's a mica cap in between. I don't understand this. I don't know why this would be like this. I'm a little bit baffled by that. It looks to me like there's a resistor missing here though, because this should come through a 22 ohm. If I look at the schematic, there should be 22 ohms right there going into the 80 microfarad, and then there's 1,000 in between. This is the 1,000 right here that's in between the two. So why am I missing a resistor right here, and why is there a capacitor in its place? So now maybe I'm smoking crack as usual here, but I was assuming this was a capacitor, but I lifted it and it's a resistor. At least it's reading as one, and boy is it kind of all over the place. Let's see. It's supposed to be 22 ohms, I believe, right here. So I don't know what the hell the deal with this thing is. I might replace that because I did find one in my stash. I found a 5-watt resistor that's 22 ohms. I didn't know that mica mold made resistors. It doesn't look like a resistor. It looks like a mica capacitor to me, but somebody's definitely been playing with this. When I had desoldered this, it just came off. I did go through, I started replacing the caps, all the ones that have got voltage potential across them or were in the audio circuit. I replaced all of those with some film capacitors that I have laying around, but this has got me thrown for a loop. Oh, and I replaced the, I lifted this off the back of the selenium rectifier and I put it over here, put the one in 4007 right here. It's the same side of the line. Just a convenient place to put it for me. Not great, but whatever. But this is a little bit interesting. I'm not, I guess that's a resistor apparently, but it doesn't look like it's the right. Looks to me like it's gone way up in value. I may replace this resistor because it's one of those ones where you squeeze it and the value changes. So you squeeze it, but that normally that's a capacitor that's like that. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I think maybe I should replace that. Okay, so yeah, a quick consultation with the Oracle says that this mica mold Type 800 is actually a resistor, a wire wound resistor. I had no idea that they made these, and I found it on the Antique Radio forum. So, it's definitely a question that comes up. So it's been replaced. I'm going to take this out, though, because it's not the right value. So let's put the right value in here. It probably doesn't really matter, but I'm here, so let's do it right. And I've got the right resistor to go in here. Somebody didn't really solder this very well either, so we're gonna do this right. All right, so red, black. I have to get out a magnifying glass and go stand in the sun because I'm colorblind, and the only way to get enough light off of it for me to tell the band colors is to go outside in the sun. So and when you're talking about a tiny resistor or one that's faded, forget it. I have no way of being able to tell resistor colors. It's one of the things I struggle with. So I usually ask a friend. Anyways, we'll use this to replace this. This is what it's supposed to be, 22 ohms. I assume 5 watt. It doesn't say, or if it probably does if I go look at it. Let's see. That's capacitors, resistors. R32. So if we pull up R32, which is cut off, I think there. I may not have it here. Hang on. Okay, So I did find it here. It's R32, 22 ohms. It's a 1 watt resistor, so 5 is certainly going to be more than enough, but we'll use the 5, just give it longer life. All right, let's give this thing a try here. Switches on. I don't expect that this is the problem, but it is certainly will cause symptoms. The resistance was relatively high comparatively. It was about 40 ohms instead of 22. So it's going through a 100 watt light bulb right now. And oh, you know what? I got to put the back on it. Hang on a second. I got the wire connected, but I got to plug the back in. All right, shall we try that again? Look at that. I've got my leads reversed, but that's about where it's supposed to be now. It's going to drop as the tubes start conducting, so it should be 140 volts up and running. $130, and we're going through a light bulb, so it's going to be low. And I hear activity. We got activity. We got a lot of activity. Look at that. That's FM. Hey. Now we're cooking with gas. Look at that. Low B plus? Really? Low B plus? I don't know if I buy that. I might have moved something. Wow. I wonder if AM works. That's a soldering iron. Turn that off. How about that? I don't buy it. I must have moved something. There's no way that it would work that good and not work at all before. I'm wondering, do I have a loose... Oh. Hey. Huh. Well, I mean, I changed a bunch of caps, and so none of that will make it do what it was doing, though. None of these caps being bad would make it totally quiet, but it's working now. So low B plus. I mean, really? Low B plus. So that's through a light bulb. That's through a 100 watt light bulb. Let's see. Let's switch it over and see what our B plus is with the light bulb out of the circuit. Yeah, that's what I would expect. So we're about 10 volts high, and that is going to be because I've got a silicon diode in there now. So, but that's okay. That is okay. So, wow. So that's AM. That's FM. Really? Not only that, it sounds like it's aligned, and I'm not hearing those symptoms of silver mica disease anymore. That could have been a loose tube socket or something. Let me get this chassis flipped back over. And just to satisfy my millennial capacitor changing cravings, I replaced the last two. I did find one more. This one's got 92 volts on one side of it. That's probably the plate of that tube. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. But so I did change that one. This orange drop, by the way, was already in here. Somebody's done a bunch of work to this thing. And I also changed this one. I'm not even sure what that is. It's probably just a cathode bypass or a... No, it's not. It's antenna coupling or decoupling capacitor, I guess. So everything all looks good in here. It seems to work great now. Won't work too good with that though, huh? I guess that broke off while I was working in here. Let me strip that back and repair that real quick. That's a little bit better. It's just one of those things. If you bend it too many times, it broke off. So it needed to be shortened anyways because of where that diode's sitting. I really don't like how I left that floating in there, but that's just how it's going to go. I'm lazy and I didn't put in a terminal strip. All right, well, let's flip this thing over. All right, I just applied power. You know, when I changed the capacitors the first time off camera, I did clean the tube sockets, and maybe it just, I wiggled them before, but maybe maybe that had something to do with it, why it's working now. I don't buy that low B plus would make me not hear anything. And it was crackling, which tells me bad connection. It sounded like silver mica disease, SMD, but there's no evidence of it now, and really, we'll see. We'll let it run for a while. Usually it takes a few hours and it'll start to develop, but you know, if it comes, we'll do it. I didn't find the values online, or excuse me, I didn't find them in the schematic, which is unusual. Zenith usually has the capacitor values because they made their own cans, I think. But I did find somebody on the Antique Radio Forum did, in fact, recap one of these already and left all, very nice of him to leave all the values on there so that somebody like me can come along and not have to do all that work. Because you can't just put 100s in and 30s in, you know, and call it good. It'll never work perfectly. Although this thing sounds so good now, it has no evidence of silver mica. It doesn't have AFC, and it pops right in pretty good. That is UCLA classical broadcast, and it's not a very strong station. It's coming in loud and clear, so that's great. The K-Jazz should be around here somewhere too. Let me see. K-Jazz is going to be down 80. It's 80 something. There it is. And that's coming in full quieting. And it sounds good. You know what? Take that off of there. That could have shorted. That's pretty damn good. Wow. This thing works good for not having AFC. And yeah, this is a neon bulb, by the way. It's not very bright anymore, but it's a neon bulb. Wow. This thing works good. Let's try AM. Turn the soldering iron back off.
Nonetheless, the union.
That's another source of noise. That's an old fluorescent magnifying light.
I'm Glenn Becerra with Ellie. Are you in the job market? Have a good driving record? Metro is now hiring bus operators.
To get the first offer, and within 24 hours we had multiple.
We're on the alternative one. Rumble.com/SebGorka, and of course,
this thing works great. I'm not even going to align it. It's hauling the stations in. Let's get up the dial. Let's get to 1260. That's not very strong here, so.
that's 800. The App Store.
Let's see. KNX will be around here somewhere. Did I pass it already? Yeah, I passed it already. That's going to be KNX. So then 1100 is going to be around here. Yep. That's the Korean station. I need to clock this. There's 1260. That performs about like my other radios on AM right there. I could tweak the trimmer for it and make it come in a little bit better, but I don't really peak it for that station anymore. It used to be K-Surf, which was good oldies, and they turned back into stupid classical music. I won't go on that rant again. But let's see. So that's pretty much it for AM. There really isn't anything. I mean, KNX is, you know, the big AM station around here, but FM really sounds awesome. Let's see.
California.
I mean, listen to all the stations it's pulling in. This is the top of the dial. So there's the Latin station, and that's going to be 106.7 K-Rock.
I'm saying you're in good hands.
Ah, Christmas music. There we go.
Home Alone in concert at Walt Disney Concert.
God, this thing almost sounds like it has AFC the way it's working. There's a little bit of crossover, but it's pretty good.
Army National Guard education benefits.
This thing sounds good. I don't want to play that too long. I can just tell by tuning it, there's no double hump or anything. So the alignment is pretty damn good on this, and it's full quieting as you tune into each station. It'd be interesting to let it run for a while and see if it drifts. Anyways, so that's a look at a Zenith. It's a 7H2Z2, I believe, is this chassis. 1952 by the Sams. It's stamped April 8th of 53, so that might be a late model of this chassis. It's pretty neat. Let me get it back in the... let's get it back in the case. I put the bottom back on it. That shield, that's kind of interesting, and listen to it in the cabinet. Thing sounds awesome. So it's been running for like 4 hours and nothing. No silver mica disease, nothing. I worked on the car all day and listened to it the whole time. It's working great. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, I'll let it run. I'll probably use it out here for a month, and we'll see if silver mica disease develops. But the alignment's spot on, so that tells me that it's probably not going anywhere. But that's unusual for these. So, anyways, yeah, it hauls in stations all across the dial. It's great. So we'll go ahead and wrap this one up.